Donald Trump trending today after he accepted the endorsement of the NRA in Louisville, Kentucky. Some Never Trump activists have been worried that he won't be strong enough on the Second Amendment issues. Here is what Trump had to say today to try to ease those fears.
So to get the endorsement, believe me, is a fantastic honor. And I just said to Wayne and I just said to Chris, I will not let you down. Remember that. I will not let you down. Hillary Clinton wants to abolish the Second Amendment. Just remember that. We're not talking about change it. She wants to abolish the Second Amendment. So we're not going to let that happen. I can tell you that right now. We're going to preserve it. We're going to cherish it. We're going to take care of it.
Well, there you go. Donald Trump says he will not let you down. Actually, it's more like will not let you down. He's always got this thing going on. Yeah. But is that enough to win over the last of the Never Trump skeptics? Here to discuss is Second Amendment advocate and the spokesperson for Poway Weapons and Gear, Natasha Sweatte. Natasha, welcome to America Trends. You went from having like one of the worst names I thought ever to having one of the best names. I want your name now.
You know, Sweatte, Sweet. I'll take Sweet any day, most certainly.
Tell us how you got involved in this issue. This wasn't just like you were just raised with guns like so many of us. You actually have a story.
I mean, I wish I were raised around guns and whatnot, but no, I had somebody break into my home 3 different times. And then I just quickly learned the only way to level the playing field between a man and a woman is through a firearm. I mean, we would all wish that, you know, pepper spray would save us or that police will get there in time, but law enforcement response time is an average of 17 minutes to a 911 call. So, I mean, you know, we have Hillary saying that she's playing the woman card per se, but to me, the Second Amendment is the ultimate tool for women empowerment because that's, again, the only way to really level the playing field between a man and a woman.
Yeah. So when your home was broken into, what was your attitude about guns starting out in the first time? And then at what point were you like, oh my gosh, there's really only one way to protect myself?
Well, I mean, at first I didn't believe it. I mean, I just kept denying it and no, maybe, you know, he had the wrong house or something. Turns out he was targeting runners, and sure enough, I figured it out quickly that, I mean, I called police, they didn't come in time. The only thing I can do is take matters into my own hands.
Police told me one time, you know, we're really cleanup crew. I had a guy on my show, and that was what he said to me. Because, you know, we really don't prevent crime very often. It's really cool when you do get a chance to prevent crime, but usually we clean up crime. And that was the moment where it like turned for me in a way that was just deeply personal, and I can hear you on that. So, so the politics has been interesting this whole go around. Were you with Donald Trump initially?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of groups like the company I work for, PWG, they don't want to necessarily be political, but they will support a candidate who fights for the Second Amendment. And we can see that Donald Trump has been doing that much more than Hillary Clinton. And it's interesting that the NRA came out so early and endorsed Donald Trump because, you know, other candidates like Mitt Romney, they waited until pretty much the last minute.
And some they didn't endorse at all.
Right.
And so this is a very almost unprecedented, at least in our political lifetime, move. And so, you know, we have one candidate who is, I get not wanting to be political, especially if you're a business, you don't want to be, but you have one candidate who really wants to put people like you out of business.
Oh, yeah. And absolutely. With gun-free zones, Donald Trump has come out and said that he wants to do away with them. Because you know what? These are only protecting the criminals and the terrorists. For instance, Hillary Clinton is going to be talking to Trayvon Martin's mother tomorrow. Yes. But what about the 14 victims from San Bernardino that just recently happened? I haven't heard her come out to say anything. Again, I think it's all about getting a certain vote. So again, we shouldn't be political. The Second Amendment is just like the First Amendment. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms. I mean, it shouldn't be political. Unfortunately, it always becomes political. I don't know why. But I mean, we all have the right to protect ourselves, Democrat, Independent, Republican. It shouldn't matter.
Frankly, I mean, it really isn't those on the side of the Constitution, especially the Bill of Rights, specifically the Second Amendment. It really isn't those defenders who make it political. The law is there. It's the other side that continues to want to chip away at it. And when you look at the people actually making the decisions, so often they're the ones who live in a gated community Their kids go to private schools with armed guards. You know, that the average American doesn't have those sorts of things. And maybe like you, where did you live alone when your home was broken into?
I lived alone.
And then so I've always wondered how they explain to a woman like you, you don't get to have that level playing field that you're asking for.
They can have armed security, but Donald Trump, interestingly enough, he has his concealed carry permit and is talking about making that a nationwide thing, which would make sense for responsible gun owners who want to be able to protect themselves. I mean, again, somebody broke into my home, but what if it happens to somebody when they're putting, you know, food in their cars after the grocery store late at night? I mean, the gas station. There's so many instances where you don't know when something could happen like that, and you have no way to defend yourself.
If Donald Trump did that, the nationwide concealed carry, what would change in states that are so? You and I were talking before the show about how tough it is, for example, to get a concealed carry license here in California. Even though it's supposed to be easier now, it's still tough. What would that change for us?
I think it would just give us a sense of freedom for people who know how to operate a firearm, that we would be able to protect ourselves. I mean, and in San Diego County alone, it's a may issue county versus a shall issue. A shall issue county just means you're a law-abiding citizen, you want to apply, so you get it. But may issue is more political. Well, the sheriff gets to
Somebody else
choose
gets to make the decision.
if you really need one. Well, why can't I prevent myself from getting killed? Why do I already have to be a victim of some type of crime?
Mm-hmm. What's your best advice to women who want to learn how to make that playing field level?
Well, I would say get training. I've been taking classes at Poway Weapons and Gear. They have them all over the nation, wherever you live. I would definitely encourage them to get educated, get comfortable with a firearm. Doesn't have to be a fancy one, just something that they feel comfortable with, and practice, 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 and think of the worst, because you don't want to be caught by surprise like I was.
And women are better shots right off the bat.
I've heard that.
Yep, it's true. And you should always shoot in the shoes that you would most likely be in if you were attacked.
Amen.
Those are my little pieces to squeeze in there.
Good advice.
All right, well, I think that's great. You're great. I'm so glad that you're an advocate out there for this, because you make a good one. Thank you for being with us.